Welcome to the AI for You Cafe. Today, on the 16th of April at 3 p.m., we have a special cafe session dedicated to the fight against the coronavirus pandemic. We have great speakers here. We have Vit Dokal, he's the head of the project management office of CIIRC, and Pavel Burget, head of testbed for industry 4.0 at CIIRC as well. And the title of the presentation will be the CIIRC RP95 3D protective half mask, and the fast track from scientific idea to the real production at the CIIRC's contribution in the fight against the coronavirus pandemic. Hi, Pavel. Hi, Vit. Hi.
Hello, everybody.
Hi. From Prague. And we have the guest speaker. I'm so happy to announce Barbara Kieslinger. She's from CIIRC, and she will be our guest speaker with the title Carobles for COVID-19. Thank you that you are here. Hi, Barbara.
Hello.
Hello. And please know that this session will be recorded. The link for the recording you find from tomorrow on the AI for You platform, as well as in YouTube and GoToStage. Therefore, no confidential information shall be shared in this cafe session. All speakers express their personal views and opinions. This is not necessarily the official AI for You project opinion. And I now once more introduce the cafe. So what is the cafe about? The cafe is public and offers on regular basis live web sessions with speakers. The cafe is online forum to gain insights into the European AI and research scene. Participants get the chance to share knowledge and experiences and meet stakeholders from various areas of AI research and application. So again, welcome to all the participants. I see most people are here. Thank you for coming today. We have two speakers from CIIRC and one guest speaker from Carobles.org. And we have only 1 hour, so this time it will be very tight for question and answers. If you have questions to the speakers, as always, please type them into the control panel on the right side. You see a control panel, there is question and chat. Please write them and I will read them after the presentations to the speakers. So if you have a special question to a special speaker, please say, this question is for Barbara, for Vit, or for Pavel. And now I will quickly introduce our speakers and then hand over the presentation to them. Vit Dokal is head of the project management office of CIIRC, which comprises agenda of the strategic project management responsible for projects over 100 million euros. Since 2013, he had worked as professional project manager at CIIRC. As the head of project management office, he led the project team during the preparation of the first strategical project at CIIRC, such as EDS grant for the new CIIRC facility or OPRDE project. Under H2020, Teaming of Excellent Research Institutions and Low-Performing RDI Regions program, he led the successful proposal of Research and Innovation Center on Advanced Industrial Production. And this project is called RICAIP.
3K, yeah. You can see it.
Say more later. So, and I'm also next to Vit is Pavel. Pavel is Pavel Burget finished his PhD at Czech Technical University in Prague in the field of control systems and robotics. Since then, he has been an assistant professor at the Department of Control Engineering at CTU in Prague. He has led tens of master students and supervised several PhD students. His research interests are industrial communication and control system, optimization of robotic manufacturing cells, and discrete event system. He has been leader of several national research projects focused on applied research. He has established several contracts with industry in the field of robotics and industrial communication. Since 2016, he has been member of Czech Institute of Informatics, Cybernetics, and Robotics, where he has been heading testbed for Industry 4.0. He has been a researcher in several international research projects, whereas in 2 of them as a principal investigator. Wow, so this is Vit and Pavel from Prague, from CIIRC. And just to let also Barbara, because I think afterwards Barbara will introduce herself shortly again, but Barbara is our guest speaker, and she's not from CIIRC. She's not. She's from Carabel. She currently coordinates an EC-funded project on open healthcare, which facilitates co-design of open healthcare for people with physical limitations and shares the experiences on the platform Carabel.org. Dr. Barbara Kieslinger holds a master's degree in English and Spanish philology and PhD in lifelong learning. Her research work is focusing on citizen science, open science, and the relation between technological and social innovations. So, Barbara, you will also later have a short time to introduce yourself. Welcome, everybody, once more. And now I will hand over to Prague and then afterwards to Vienna, because Barbara is in Vienna. So let's go. And Vit, yeah, you are the presenter now. You may take over. I see it. Perfect.
Okay, so hello everyone. Warm regards from Prague. It's very sunny here, and I hope that this sun will come also very soon to our lives in this emergency situation. And let me please introduce CIIRC and our projects and our effort together with my colleague Pavel. So what is CIIRC? Our institute is a part of the Czech Technical University. It's actually the Center for AI. And in the Czech Republic, it was actually the aim of the Czech government, who provided the initial funding of more than 50 million euros to this very fancy modern building just next to the Prague Castle. So if you visit Prague, you can also visit us very easily. And within these 6 years of operations, we gathered really a lot of grants, and currently we are having 250 researchers, and our turnover is more than 100 million. And our focus is, of course, main is manufacturing, advanced industrial production, energy, smart cities, and healthcare, which is extremely important in this time. We are, since the very beginning, we are trying to build the whole ecosystem of trust and of collaboration. We have a very good living lab, which is called Testbed for Industry 4.0, which Pavel represents. And we are trying to build all value chains with main manufacturers and SMEs and digital innovation hubs in the Czech Republic, of course, with government. And we are happy that we were supported by European Commission with a RECAPE project, which is the research center for advanced industrial production. And it's a 50 million euros project, which started on September last year and will end in 6 years. So we had opportunity to use also these resources to face this emergency situation. As you can see on another screen, on another slide, we are collaborating with a lot of partners all across Europe. If I pick several strategic partners, we have great collaboration in Germany, both DFTI and Fraunhofer. We have great collaboration in France, like CEA, and people around Alice Network. For example, INRIA, our very important partner. Of course, we love to collaborate with Comtech in Spain and other partners and associations such as BDVA. So we are very active in collaboration, and I think it's very important. And we can see that if we mobilize our resources, we can overcome the crisis very effectively. We couldn't do our stuff if we don't have great relations, trustful full relations with industry, and we really develop strategic partnerships with key manufacturers and companies like Skoda or Siemens or even Lego, which is a great for our kids, isn't it, Pavel? And you can see also that Thales is among our strategic partners, and I'm very happy that this AI for EU platform was initiated and coordinated by Thales. With other networks, as I said, ALICE, we are one of the 7 ALICE units. We are proud office of CIIIRC, Confederation of AI Labs in Europe. So this office in Prague, CIIIRC office Prague, was established in February 2018. And we are also we were part of the pilot AI Digital Innovation Hub network. So we were selected among those 30 digital innovation hubs acting in AI. And we are also lucky because we could join the core consortium of EIT manufacturing, which was supported in late 2018. So it was the kind of initial environment, which could enable us to mobilize resources and expertise in our fight with COVID. But just in the very beginning of this emergency, we found out the very good news that in this very strategic call of ICT48, and you know, it's about the European Center of Excellence in AI, CIIRC, our institute, acts in 3 out of these 5 supported awarded projects, which is ALICE projects, Taylor Vision project, the CSA coordination support action, and we are happy that we could add our expertise to these very important networks, and we can also help with our expertise to this maneuver and to this amazing stuff. We don't have only successes, you can only win. So we, for example, try to apply with Eternitis the intelligent robotics proposal in the ICT48. Unfortunately, it was not successful, but we learned so much, and we were so happy that we could collaborate in this robotic proposal with so many motivated people and skilled people. So we really leverage at least somehow this network in this emergency. So since the very beginning of our 3D print project of respirator mask, we contacted the network and offered the discussion and communication, which was very amazing. So Eternitis is still living in a way, and hopefully it would born someday again. And now maybe let's speak very shortly on the recap, because it's actually the center of excellence where all these staff, and I can see the results of these efforts. So for example, this mask was produced and developed and produced. RECAPE, the Research and Innovation Center of Advanced Industrial Production, is equipped with investment roughly for 30-40 million euros. Other machines are coming, and the part of it are 3D printers, which Pavel would introduce, where we could really do these fantastic masks. I must say I'm very happy about that the core axis of the RECAPE collaboration, because there are 4 main partners. One is in the Brno, Brno University of Technology, CIITEC, which is a center in Brno, the 2nd biggest city in the Czech Republic. But we have 2 partners, great partners in Germany, which is the FKI and ZEMA in Saarbrücken. So you can see that this initial collaboration of 4 partners then can be very easily leveraged to all the Europe, especially in the field of advanced manufacturing. So, and now I would just give the floor to Pavel to introduce these masks, respirator RP95 3D, which is actually for RECAPE, and 95 of the protection quality of the highest protection quality.
Okay, thank you, Vít. This is a short story about how this mask started to be produced. Basically, the main facts are shown here. So this is really the highest level of protection that corresponds to the FFP3 standard, and it has been certified according to European norm 140. It is equipped with an exchangeable external filter, which is here. So after the filter is contaminated, it can be removed and exchanged for a new one. And then the mask is attached to the head with this elastic bands. What is really interesting on this mask is that it has been produced using 3D printing with multi-jet fusion technology that is provided by Hewlett-Packard, and this printing technology allows produce the mask in such a way that it is completely impermeable, and it allows us to achieve the highest level of protection.
Maybe we could say some few words. I don't want to disturb your discussion, but why this idea came for, because we saw the critical lack of these personal protective equipment, especially among the red zone professionals. So we just try to help, somehow with a different manufacturing approach. Because if you start the mass production, for example, with injection molding, it would take months, but we needed to find out the solution in a week. So therefore we go and we did this approach.
Exactly. And another issue, another point of view is that the production can be started at several places whenever the printer is available at the same time. So we produce the prototype, and then after additional week, the production started at additional 8 places in the Czech Republic where those printers were available.
So when I was speaking about the ecosystem and collaboration with industry, that's exactly how the distributed manufacturing works. We just mobilized the production capacities in the Czech Republic, and most of them were in the automotive sector, which was just stopped. And we could mobilize these production capacities, for example, at Škoda company. So it's amazing how it could work if you have this ecosystem ready and the trust, and it just worked.
So we prepared the files necessary to print the mask at the HP printers and made them available free of charge at the website you can see in the presentation, which is www.rp95.cz. So every owner of an HP printer can download the files and start printing. The mask is also equipped with silicone sealing. The silicone is not 3D printed, but it is molded using gravity molding. But we also provide the mold for the silicone sealing, so that everyone can print the mold and then produce the sealing at the specific site.
Yes. Originally we tried to put it as an open source, but we did several tests with different technology than HP, which proved not sufficient results yet. Further testing is needed. That's why we locked the build for HP solution, which was tested and validated in the certification lab. But we are open to also undergo additional tests for different technologies to extend the flexibility of the production.
Okay.
On this slide, you can see the basic fact.
Sorry, maybe Carmen has a question.
I have to throw myself in because I don't completely understand who is using. Which organization is actually using it? Is there other organizations?
You mean who is using the mask?
Yeah.
So the mask is has been designed as a protective equipment, protective mask, so that everybody, like a doctor or people from the fire workers or police who are in touch or who come into areas where can be possibly contaminated, or who come in touch with people who can be ill by the COVID disease.
Yeah, but very specifically, current daily production is like 500 pieces, the max production like that.
At the Czech Republic.
And the Czech Republic, in this distributed production manufacturing environment. Ministry of Health, we have a contract with the Ministry of Health of the Czech Republic, stating that we provide all the production to the Ministry of Health, apart of several persons of testing. So now it's in the hospitals, basically. It's in the hospitals, it's among fireworks professionals, it's in other places taking care of elderly people. And we are really happy that we can use these funds to provide these masks without the margin, even for free. And that's actually the condition of the opening of the free license, that you shall not generate the margin, not a profit. So you can use it, you can download the source, you can print it, but you can't sell with margin.
With profit.
With profit, yeah.
Okay, I myself figured out with HP that it costs more than 200,000 to buy myself a printer like this, which is quite a lot of money. So I think it's really for research institutes or people who have can afford printers like this. My question comes to it: how many can you print per hour?
Yeah, the products or the parts in the printer are printed in so-called builds. So printing one building unit or printing unit takes between 10 to 15 hours, and in the current build, 62 masks can fit into one building space, so that we can approximately we can print 220, 250 masks in 2 days.
Okay.
At one side.
At one side,
yeah.
At one printer.
So it's about the collaboration again, so you need to have a lot of sites, and you don't need to be university to own these masks. As I said, it's quite common in the automotive sector. It's a lot of these machines in Germany and in Italy and other, in Spain, in other countries in Europe, all across Europe. The only thing is just mobilize these resources and do it. You don't need to own it as an individual, but companies and car industry is well equipped with these kind of machines often.
Yes, thank you. I came in. Do you want to continue with your presentation?
No, I think it's just the last slide. Or do you want to add a point, Pavel?
Yes, actually, what was interesting that it really brought great attention. It was we were contacted by many people from many countries across Europe or also outside Europe, and they were offering help on one hand. On the other hand, they also want to utilize the data, utilize the results that we produced, and it initiated also other ideas which inspired for further development. So one of the ideas is this smaller version for this protective mask, which has been designed for children. So in tight cooperation with the Anthropological Institute of the University, Masaryk University in Brno, we optimized the shape of the mask to fit children's face as best as possible, and the first results show that it is also successful. And another issue I want to add is that it also we realize that even the nature of the distributed production is very interesting and allows starting the production at various sites at the same time. It is still not enough to cover the demand that is needed in the society. So we started the preparation on mass production of the protective mask, which are going to be produced by injection molding.
Yeah, so basically the distributed manufacturing could change the paradigm of industrial production. We were thinking about a lot of use cases possible to leverage this approach to, for example, lower the cost of transport or etc., etc. But this emergency situation proves that the distributed manufacturing is so important in critical situation of market failure, because you need to be independent. And so you need to produce yourself with the distributed resources you could mobilize easily. And 3D print technology is very good solution for this approach. So maybe it's a new era of manufacturing. We will see.
Super exciting, and I dare to invite a guest speaker, Barbara. I just will link you now, because I got the recommendation that also the project where Barbara is involved is into carriables, which also are printable in this COVID-19 time. I will let Barbara explain more, and after Barbara we will have more questions by the public, and then please, anybody who has questions can type them in. But now I'll give over to Barbara. One moment, Barbara. I'm not yet set up. So now I change to you and just show what you are doing. Yes, I gave to you. You should be capable. Yes, I see something.
Yes. I hope that you, hello everyone. Can you see my screen now with the presentation?
Yes.
Yes. Okay,
yes.
Perfect. Okay, then thanks a lot again. Thanks a lot to the project for this cafe to invite me here. And I think it's actually, I'm from the Center for Social Innovation in Vienna, Austria. We are a non-profit private scientific research center doing research in social sciences, socio-technical innovations. And the project I'm talking about is so well connected with what Pavel ended with. So I think it's really good that we are together in this here, because the Carriables project is actually a project that has already been built on this idea of distributed manufacturing, of doing things, also distributedly or even individually. And so Carriables started as a European project, and it still is, but we understand ourselves more even of a community of people and organizations who are committed to this co-design and making of open, personalized healthcare for everyone. And this originally, when we started with the idea, we saw what's going on, what people already in these, in maker spaces, in hacker spaces, what they do themselves. They didn't want to wait anymore for somebody else to provide it, healthcare industry to provide it to them. They built their own individual healthcare solutions, and we said we need to bundle these and started to create a project around this where we support the design and also the documentation, so that others then also can build on that. Just as you were just mentioning, you share your design of the mask so that others can rebuild it and use it. So this was the main idea behind us. We created, the project is called Carriable. We also created a definition of what we understand as a carriable. And this is like a solution that aims to improve the lives of people, who have special needs in health and in care. And the openness was very important for us, so that we can, somebody else can co-design it, replicate it, adjust it, share it online, and build, on this, on the designs of others. And so we thought that there is really a shift going on also now in the production and the spaces or the possibilities that these 3D, the technology like the 3D printers, the laser cutters, these digital fabrication tools that they offer in healthcare, and that was taken up by the Careables project. So we were 2 years into the project, and then COVID came along. So luckily, we already had set up a platform. We had already lots of experience in how to co-design and how to share these designs online. And so we also adapted what our offers, and we thought that as this project being settled in the area of being really positioned in open healthcare in a distributed way, we need to react here. And so we have now a special section on COVID-19 where we provide, for example, we provide stories on how people are taking up designs. You know, this is just a normal, this is not such a sophisticated mask, this is just a normal face shield that we see nowadays being produced all over the world. And we have stories here from all over the world, like this one here is from Brazil, who also took a design that I think originally comes from Poland, and they modified it, and they shared the story of how they are distributing it now in Brazil to many hospitals and healthcare centers. We have stories from that from Europe. Our Italian partners are doing similar things, and they also are very willing to share also their designs or their add-ons, the difficulties that they had and how they improved things. So even, for example, you know, it's not the same thing. We're not at the level of these super professional, super expensive printers. It's usually rather at a lower cost. But still, you know, it's the same thing if you say you want to test something out with a new material. So this is a place in our Careables project where these things are shared then, and that others can make use of it. We share stories, for example, which are or other resources, which are kind of handbooks that have been coming out, you know, on what things to take care of. We have some legal advice there. We have a lot is around protective gear, but there is also some other material around, and we try to bundle the resources that are out there at the moment related to COVID-19 that come from the maker community. And most importantly, what I wanted to stress here is our project. So we already have over 30 projects on our platform. We try to bundle them together, and the platform then gives you, as you see, if you look into Welder app Careables, and then with the hashtag COVID-19, you find the projects that are documented there that you can access. There they show you even the 3D files and how to print it, how to assemble it, how to do everything, and then you can replicate it. And there have already been, as I said, lots of products already replicated. So if you dive further into what does it look like, you know, you can then also browse the website. I put here a few examples, but how is the project documented on our platform? For example, this one, this mask here. You will see that on our platform you can dive into, you have a summary description of what is it about. You have also a warning if it's something that has, you know, in terms of materials that you should use, that you should not use. You have the concrete assembly guides. You have the 3D files to download them. You have contact details. You have license information if people provide the license information. You have the bill of material, what materials you need, and things like that. So it's really quite a good platform to document it, and for others then to rebuild things. And then additional activities that we do for COVID-19, we also have now we reach out to a wide global network of makers. So we have also a Slack channel, and there are stories being shared also on the hackathons that are going on now, and everything, a lot of sharing of ideas, sharing of designs. We also promote it at the moment on our Twitter channel. We will have some capacity building events coming up. We already did last year a summer school and a academy where we teach these kind of skills and how to use digital fabrication tools, and also how to do co-design for the people who really need it. And the upcoming events will probably also be more focusing on COVID-19 solutions. So this was a very quick and short summary of what we do in CIIRC addressing the current COVID-19 crisis. And just to finish with, when I talk about we are a consortium of partners from Europe and let's say worldwide, because the network, the GIG network, is a network of makers and hackers, mostly in the global south, but really distributed worldwide. And we have partners from Italy, which is on the one hand an association of also for taking care of kids with special needs, and the hackers, and then the Open Dot is a makerspace, another makerspace in Germany, in Berlin, and BAG is also makerspace, and they also do social and socio-technical research, let's say. And as a legal advice, we have the Catholic University of Leuven. So we are a big mix, and at the moment very busy because there is so much going on, I have to say, in this maker scene of providing solutions. And yes, so I'm happy to also answer further questions. And I mean, it would of course be good to see also the CIIRC RP95 3D mask on our platform in the future. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Barbara. This is also so amazing. So it's like, may I understand, Barbara, that I mean, there's like, you can, for example, also share information how to print, yeah, just like a plastic shield in order to protect yourself in the job. So you don't have to license it medically. It doesn't have to be certified license. You can basically share any kind of how I build my own private mask, no, out of paper or something.
Exactly. So on our platform, people start documenting and sharing things that they do themselves. They're mostly not necessarily approved by official healthcare institutions, but then that it also says there, you know, and often like protective gear, like the face shield itself, it's also not so critical, so to say, than some other medical devices, or really, you know, the face mask that we have seen before, which is much more sophisticated.
Yes. So this is what I understand. No? It's like it's CIIRC. It's like a highly professional mask which needs medical licensing and certification. And here it can be also something which is just very practical. I mean, it doesn't necessarily has to be so certified. I have exactly a question here. I'm coming now to the public, as I feel like I'm doing all. I'm in the first seat. I can ask all the questions, but it's unfair. So now let all you speak. Gail asks from Gail Echo-Shark, are you working with governments on certification of open hardware medical solutions? That's, I think, for Barbara.
We have, we are, don't, you know, so where should I start? We are providing the platform and the co-design, so we are not promoting one specific product, let's say, you know. So for us, we are aware of the legislations, and we have our legal advisors, but we ourselves don't seek for the approval. I mean, we guide partners who want to do that, what they have to consider, because it's, you know, other people uploading their documentation and their products, and we can guide them, but we are not the ones seeking really that approval, because that would be too complex at the moment for us also to handle.
Okay, thank you. I'm asking the next question from Peter van der Linden. This is for Vit and Pavel. How does the certification work? Do you have to recertify for all printers? That's question one. Question two, is the mask already printed by other organizations around the world? I mean, besides in Czech. Two questions.
Yeah, thank you very much. So I would start with certification issue. As I said, and you were right, Carmen, that we try to have the solution for the highest production quality, so the really top of the top protection. And the certification tests were really demanding including the autoclave, the heating, everything, the pressure, and it went very well. That's why the material and all the stuff is very sensitive issue in this certification process. So we received this preliminary certificate, which allows us to put it into Czech hospitals for a specific period of time of 3 months. Basically, we undergo all physical tests, but the paperwork, notification to all offices and whatever can be done within this period to receive the whole European CE mark. So yes, we are just undergoing these tests to receive the whole European Commission mark, but we have the certificate ready for the Czech Republic according to the EC regulation from March to beat this COVID crisis. You are right that distributed manufacturing opens very serious question in the regulatory framework, because if you follow the rules of the let's say open source or the free license, and you just use the algorithm and data, you are becoming a manufacturer. But on that certificate, in this current time, there is a very specific point and really a big highlight on the manufacturer. So you are certified as a manufacturer. So if you use data and do it in a distributed way, you should get certified basically. But
Okay.
I think it's good to discuss it with regulatory framework, but this is how it works now.
Okay. And then if, the question was also, do other organizations around the world, do you know anybody using it yet?
Yeah. Currently, more than 60, maybe today even more organizations have downloaded the data for the printing of the masks. So definitely they are trying to print it, and are also asking about the availability of the filters. We were also asked to provide open data to for this transitional board, so that also a type of filter can be attached. So by exchanging the transitional board, other type of filter can be attached, and then it can be adapted to the local needs and to the local resources that are available. But as Sweet said, it is always necessary to ensure that the product undergoes the certification.
In the specific countries, in the European Union, it could be quite straightforward. The countries can just accept the Czech certificate because of the EC regulation, but other, they need to discuss in the nation.
Okay. And do you also have do you think this is a mask which is also good for workers in retirement homes? As retirement homes around in Europe and the world, I guess, are very critical points. Can you work with this mask, or is it? I read on the internet that you cannot breathe so well when you wear it. Can you work? I mean, are they advisable for people who have to run around a lot, or not?
I think you can breathe quite well
Yes.
if you take this highest protection product, because you don't need to wear it always and everywhere. It's just for those professionals which are in close contact with the most infection patients. It's not a device or a protection equipment for everyone. It's very specific product.
Just a short remark, the certification tests also include tests when someone who is wearing the mask goes with a certain speed, and it checks if the breathability, the capability of breathing of the human is enough, is sufficient.
Okay, good. Thank you. And then another question, as you said, it's in the moment, this mask which you have, it's basically especially for the HP printer, 3D printer. It's a special type. I spoke also with HP. They have, in the moment, in the COVID-19, they have a special initiative also that people need those printers. Are you in contact with HP? Are you maybe promoting a mask with them?
Yes, we don't have a specific agreement with HP, so it's not locked for HP. Basically, it was our freedom of our research work that we tested several materials, several technologies, and I have the whole box of of defective masks from other technologies. But HP proved well, and they just offered their network to spread the data. So we were happy about that. So that's how we work with HP, and we are happy that they could use the global network for dissemination of the knowledge.
Okay, so yes, and I have another question for Barbara. Is your project now over? I didn't totally get it. Like wearables is a project, but it's now basically continuing.
Yes. So Careables is a EC funded project which still officially has funding until the end of this year. And we have already made some sustainability plans, and also how to maintain the platform and also how to continue with other services. So we're just in the moment of really starting to implement this sustainability plan to make sure that it will continue even after the EC funding. But at the moment, it is still officially also an EC funded project. We have just expanded already. As I said, the community is growing, especially with countries in the global south, and so they're very active already, although not being part of our consortium. So yes, we are still a project.
Great. I have also here from Loretta Nani a question for both projects, to you both, to all three speakers, for both projects. What can the EC do to promote mutual cooperation and sharing? Usability to reach large scale? Question mark. So these are the questions. What can EC do to promote mutual cooperation and sharing? Question. Usability to reach large scale. Who wants to start?
Lady first.
Okay. It's a good question. The thing is that at least with the COVID-19 crisis, what we experienced is that there was quite some competition also, let's say, in the maker community, right? It's like who makes something first, who are the first ones to provide their designs and so on. So there is quite a lot going on. I mean, competition is good. On the other hand, I think it would be also nice to kind of consolidate things here. And there is a lot of things going on in terms of open hardware. Open hardware business model and things like that. So we would need to put more effort into that. I think supporting generally this idea of more distributed local manufacturing, you know, and leveraging on what's going on in the maker community. I think that would be really good if that would be further supported and see the potential there, because as we were seeing in this crisis, suddenly this just, you know, the way we have been doing production, manufacturing has been done, doesn't work when suddenly the borders are closing, and we need more of this distributed approach and local approach. So I think there and there is really a lot of, at the moment, a lot of momentum in the maker community. So supporting this more, I think that would be very, very valuable.
Great answer. Yes. And now the the gentleman.
It is really important that advanced technology is available. So one point is to have the idea, to produce a prototype, to prove that the idea is correct, and to be sure that such a prototype is feasible and can be used. The other thing is how to spread the production, how to spread the products into the society among people. So therefore we encountered several situations where there were companies who wanted to be part of the development, part of the production, for example, of the filters, but their production capacities were not big enough to fulfill the demand. And so definitely it is really important that the new technology and advanced production technology is supported.
Well, I think the EC is doing a good job, because very in a very short time they offered the add-on money into running projects. So, for example, we were offered to reimburse several costs from the running projects, H2020 projects, which is fantastic. And also the EC regulation on these fast tracks for certification of these productive equipment was absolutely crucial, because if we get stuck in the paperwork, we would never do that. So it really unchained our hands and we could do the job. I think there is still big limitation in the tech transfer. There is a great support for universities, research centers, and really doing some research and development. And we have resources for that and huge support of European Commission. We have in Europe the AI on Demand platform, we have CIIRC, ELIS, we have ICT 48 awarded projects. It's great, but I'm still seeing several limitations in the tech transfer. So how to transfer these brilliant ideas, into the market through startups, for example. So if there would be a guideline, a very specific guideline, if you in the university have some kind of good IPR and you would like to set a startup, do this, and it's under this regulation and it's no state aid and it's, I don't know, whatever, And so I think this is very important because there is so many smart brains and we need to really put and motivate them to work closer with the market needs.
Yes, thank you. This is great input. I think I totally agree, and that's basically, I mean, as you know, that there will be in the moment in the context of AI, of course, artificial intelligence. There are calls where they want that there will be a ecosystem, around AI for companies who are interested in these new technologies. So, but it's always a question how to involve more SMEs, more startups directly in the process, as it stays complex to run for these open calls. So it has to be more clear, more direct, I think. But I'm not the commission, I am the cafe organizer.
Maybe just a very straightforward advice, if you have a grant scheme for startups and you expect co-funding from the startups, it's killed from the very beginning because startups basically don't have any money in the start. So that's it.
Yes. So I would say that we are slowly ending. The questions are slowing down. I would like to thank you very much, and I would encourage all the participants to, if you have more questions, please write them either directly to Barbara or to Vit and Pavel. You can use my email. As always, I can forward it, or you write to them directly. I will have the recording online very soon when the speakers will agree. I will now take back my presentation role, one moment, and as always at the end of the cafe, I will shortly introduce the next one. Sorry for the slowness of my computer and the transmission. So the next live session will be on next Wednesday, on April 22nd at 3 p.m. The speaker will be Christian Gamrat from CEA from France. The title will be N2D2 Development Environment for Embedded IA. And as always, you find the registration on the AI4U platform. Meanwhile, as I say, if you have interest in Barbara's or Vit and Pavel's input, if you want to if you have more questions, please ask them. And again, I want to thank you all for this very, very, very interesting session. Thank you, Barbara, first. Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you too. It was a pleasure.
Yes. And thank you, Vit and Pavel, thank you.
Thank you, Carmen.
Thank you, Carmen. Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you, and I hope we will soon hear that more people will ask for mask, your mask, as well as other wearables. And stay safe. This is always my most important mission. Stay safe, and thank you, and see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye.
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 Bye.